Hi, Carl. Welcome to Asia Financial. It's great to have you here. How are you today?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much for having me.
So, can you talk us through a bit about Bitcoin's potential medium as an exchange and also as a reserve currency?
I mean, Bitcoin is the most transferable, divisible, and secure money in the world, actually. The only problem right now is that Bitcoin is not yet a perfect medium of exchange because the transaction fees are still too high for small payments.
Right.
That's a thing that actually me and my co-founder of Casta are solving.
What is your take on El Salvador becoming the Bitcoin city, and how do you see their progress in the future? How would it help other cities in adoption with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
I think someone had to be first, and that was El Salvador. I believe we're going to see dozens of countries around the world adopting Bitcoin in the same fashion that El Salvador over the next 10, 20 years. But I'm very, very happy and grateful and bullish on the whole situation with El Salvador. I think that was a very bold and brave move. Then there will always be skeptics saying that, oh, but El Salvador is just a small country. Those are the people that said that, oh, but Bitcoin is only for criminals like 10 years ago, or that only small companies are holding Bitcoin. But now you have like Tesla going into Bitcoin, there's El Salvador going into Bitcoin. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is succeeding more and more every single year. It's just continuously succeeding year over year now.
When you're speaking of governments, what do you think about the CBDCs, the central digital currencies that every government is coming out with? Right now, it's China's digital yuan, and Sweden came up with the e-krona. Also, the Bahamians have already adopted their central digital currency. How do you differentiate between that and the relevance of cryptocurrencies? Because they have sovereign value, right?
Yeah, so these central bank digital currencies, they are very stupid because not only are they centralized, but they're also not backed up by anything. So they will try to call them cryptocurrencies, but in fact, they're just a new form of fiat currencies that are even more controllable than the current fiat that we have. Digital currencies are not actually a new thing. Digital currencies have been a thing ever since really the internet came. The problem with the US dollar when it's digital is that it's still printable. It's still they can still program or click on the button and create more dollars. So it is digital, but it's also infinite still. So they didn't solve that problem. Bitcoin is not only digital money, but it's also digital property. It's scarce. So that's the difference. That's the fundamental difference between Bitcoin and the digital dollar. And a digital dollar based on blockchain is still no different. It's still going to be infinite. It's just more controllable. I cannot say it enough. Those currencies are stupid for sure. I hope people realize that. But I think maybe, hopefully, these central banks' digital currencies can act like a gateway drug into Bitcoin, where those wallets, so to speak, that would be created for those stupid currencies would ultimately lead to a easier access to Bitcoin for people. That's what I'm hoping.
Asia Financial's parent company has also launched an ETF called Coin. So, what are your views on Bitcoin ETFs, and how do you view them?
As long as people know that when they're buying an ETF, they're not actually buying the underlying assets. But I think it's a fantastic way to get access or exposure to the Bitcoin price for the big money out there, because many people don't really care about the full decentralization of Bitcoin and the security of Bitcoin. They just want to get access to the price of Bitcoin. They want to get exposure to the Bitcoin price going up in value. And specifically institutional players, I think, they don't really care about buying Bitcoin and putting it on a small little USB ledger device. They just want to get access to the price now. And in that case, I think ETFs are a great gateway for the big institutional billions of money to come into Bitcoin. And from that point of view, I think ETFs are very good. They're even kind of necessary to speed up the process of getting the big money in. I wouldn't say necessary, but definitely helpful, very helpful in that sense. So it's going to make Bitcoin more liquid and more valuable, more quicker, because the big money will have much easier access. So yeah, ETFs are definitely a good thing for Bitcoin, and I hope that we will see more of them in many countries in the next few years.